Welcome back, everybody. This is video number 3 for the skill series for the push-up. So today what we're going to discuss is the common faults. So we're going to discuss 3 common faults, and we're going to work at those hacks or those action steps to get us a little bit closer to that perfect push-up. So let's get started. Common fault number 1 has to do with the hands and the shoulders. So when we have our hands on the floor, again in video series number 2 I discussed the weight on the hands. So that is one aspect to it. The other aspect to it is I'm gonna steal it from Coach Shane in his series for the squat. He talked about this big piece of paper toweling and the perforated edge. I want you to think about a piece of big paper toweling. When you're in that push-up position and you're locked out, I want you to really think about trying to spread and tear that apart. So all that weight's in the hands, we're gonna try and drive it out. So essentially, when I'm here, I'm trying to churn my shoulder blades back and down, and we're trying to really tear that apart. That's gonna take that scapula, the upper back muscles, and turn them on. Why we wanna do that is another common fault is with the shoulders. So it all goes through the hands all the way through the shoulders. So one of the common faults is when someone's going down, they're shrugging their shoulders. And when they shrug their shoulders, they turn on the traps as opposed to getting that scapula. So with our shoulder blades, we really want the shoulder blades to rotate around our rib cage. That'll get that in a good proper position. So another example I like to give is when we do a one-arm dumbbell row, and when we go down, we allow that shoulder blade to wrap around our rib cage and then come back through. So you're pulling through that elbow on that one-arm dumbbell row. It's essentially the same thing when we're doing a push-up. So we're trying to get the shoulders to go back and down. We have the rib cage and the abs nice and tight. We drive the shoulders back, and then we go down and then back up. And it allows that rib cage or those shoulder blades to wrap around the rib cage and move properly, as opposed to doing the shrug and really tightening up in the neck muscles and not allowing that shoulder blade to move freely in that push-up. So that's something that you want to focus on, is really getting those shoulders up, back, and down, and then allowing those shoulder blades to move properly.
Common fault number 2, letting the hips sag. Here you'll see the not so happy face in the top picture. This is the type of push-up you most definitely want to avoid. The common fault or mistake being made here is allowing your hips to fall toward the floor. When this happens, it places a lot of stress in your lower back. Focus on getting active in those abs like the happy face in the bottom picture shows to help keep your proper position throughout the movement. Common fault number 3, poking or sticking your head forward. Here you'll see the not so happy face in the top picture. Again, this is what you want to avoid. The common fault here is, as you lower yourself to the ground, you will place undue stress on the neck and cause other postural issues like many suffer from when they're sitting at their desks. To break this habit, focus on keeping your head behind your chest as you lower yourself toward the floor. The goal of the push-up should be for your chest to touch the floor first while in a solid plank position, like the happy face picture in the bottom displays. Like I discussed in the beginning, another common fault is when individuals shrug or do not use their shoulders while doing their push-ups. What is happening as you lower yourself toward the floor, your shoulder blades retract or come together. However, when you push away from the floor, your shoulder blades should protract or lengthen. But in the not so happy face picture, this is not happening. Your shoulder blades are designed to move around your rib cage to keep your proper form and will continue to keep your shoulders healthy for longevity.
Now let's discuss some action steps, or what you could call some hacks, to help you improve on this, getting this perfect push-up. So we've talked about 3 common faults, so let's kind of go through those to discuss each piece of those. So the first one that we were discussing was the sagging of the hips. And truly what that is if you can hold a plank in that whole nice solid plank position, or again in video series 1 I talked about the ankle, knee, hip, and shoulder all being in perfect alignment. So if you can hold a plank, whether it's 20 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute, if you can hold that plank, that means you're in proper position for doing a push-up. So if those hips are sagging, essentially what's happening is you're deactivating or shutting off the abdominal wall. So really focus on the hack for that is to really pull in the belly button to spine and really tighten down that abdominal wall, getting your quads tight, your glutes tight, your butt and your hamstrings tight, and just really being mindful. So when you get into that push-up position, what I do when I'm working with individuals is I try and get them to focus on the hands first. So when you're in that locked out position, think about the aspect that we discussed about tearing the paper towel apart. So focus there first to really turn that shoulder up, back and down, getting that active, and then go to the abdominal wall. Think about tightening that down, and then get to the quads to get in that position. So really taking it through a series to really focus in on getting in that proper position. So we talked about also the shoulders shrugging up. So really focusing when we're in that position to really turn those shoulder blades up, back, and down again. So again, it's an awareness piece, really focusing in on that. And then the other one was the gooseneck, or what I call the gooseneck, where we're letting the head drop. So we really want to focus on keeping that neutral spine and being aware of it. So really thinking about keeping the head behind the chest or the shoulders as you descend or lower yourself into that push-up position. So the main factors to helping you improve on those is actually finding different heights or depths to go and use on these push-ups. So I have 3 different boxes here. So if you're at home, you could use anything that you can find in your house that has different heights to help you improve. So you want to find where you can keep really sound and proper mechanics, being mindful of all the mechanics I discussed, and using one of those heights. And as you improve, then you lower and keep lowering yourself. So essentially you could start with the wall, and then this is a 24-inch box and a 20, and then down onto this red box. So just keep lowering yourself until you can get to the ground. So again, really staying sound in those mechanics, turning everything on, and then lowering yourself and pressing out. Remember about the breathing too. I said it in video series number 2. So we're inhaling, exhaling. So again, the wall, different heights and boxes, and practicing and being mindful of all those little intricate pieces to the push-up. So go after it, start practicing the push-up, develop it, and be a winner.